What would you do if you lost your job and your wife on the same day? Stick around, this story turns darker with every minute. The film kicks off with a mechanic named Bradley. He drives his car to work only to be hit with shocking news. He's been fired. His boss blames the economic crisis. No warning, no sympathy, just like that, he's out. Crushed, Bradley packs his things and drives home. But outside his house, he sees something that stops him cold. His wife inside her car on the phone. Suspicion floods his mind. Is she cheating? He walks over and tells her about losing his job. She seems distant. Then he notices something, marks on her neck. He asks about them, she stays silent. Red flag.
I'm your first filter.
He grabs her phone, his worst fears are confirmed. She's been talking to another man. Shock turns into rage. He tells her to go inside. Alone in the driveway, he loses control. He smashes her car windows. The betrayal eats at him. Inside the house, Bradley demands the truth. His wife finally breaks down. She confesses. She's been with the other guy for 90 days. Why? Because you were never home, she says. I felt invisible. She apologizes, says she made a mistake. And despite the pain, Bradley forgives her. They choose to move forward to rebuild. But don't get too comfortable, because what's coming will flip their world upside down. Days later, Bradley visits an old friend, Jill. He needs work, any work. Jill has a job for him, drug deliveries, dangerous, illegal. Bradley hesitates, but the job market is dead. He says yes. His wife is furious when she finds out, but Bradley insists this is the only way out of the hole. Time passes, he's delivering regularly, money's flowing. Their life transforms, a new home, a new car. His wife's pregnant. Finally, things feel right. They talk about the baby, their dreams, a future filled with hope. But just when peace settles in, Bradley's phone rings. It's Jill. I were and play come now. He rushes over. Jill introduces him to someone new, Eliezer. But Eliezer isn't alone. He's flanked by two men, Roman and Pedro. Not just muscle, these two are legends in the gang world. Smart, dangerous, lethal. And they didn't show up for nothing. What happens next changes everything. Want to know how deep Bradley gets dragged into the underworld? Don't blink. The real story is just beginning. Subscribe for the full ride. This isn't your average redemption tale, this is survival. But Bradley had no idea what kind of darkness he was walking into. Jill informed him that from now on, Roman and Pedro, two elite gang members, would accompany him on drug deliveries. Their job was to protect him. But to Bradley, it felt less like protection and more like surveillance. He snapped back. You think I can't handle this alone? I could have been arrested because of them. Still, Jill managed to calm him down. He made a tempting offer. Do this job, and when your baby is born, you get 3 months off. Full pay, no questions. Bradley paused, then agreed. But he had one condition. He wanted to be the leader of the group. Jill accepted, and that very night, their mission began. The job was simple, but dangerous. Retrieve bags of drugs hidden deep beneath the sea. Bradley took the wheel as captain of the boat. They traveled far into the dark, silent waters. Then they stopped. Pedro suited up and dove in. Down in the depths, he discovered something unexpected. A heavy chain chest, like it was hiding treasure. Pedro broke the chains. Inside was the stash. He grabbed everything and returned silently to the surface. Once they docked at the port, each man carried a portion of the drugs. But Bradley felt uneasy. Something was wrong. He scanned the area and spotted movement. Drop the bags, he warned. Cops. Roman and Pedro refused. They insisted the delivery had to go through. Eliezer wouldn't accept failure. Bradley pressed them to abandon the mission. Pedro snapped. He punched Bradley hard. Roman pulled Pedro into a car and sped off toward the garage. Bradley stayed behind, frozen, watching. That's when it happened. A police car rolled up near the garage. Another officer started approaching Bradley. Cornered, Bradley had to act fast. If he ran, he'd look guilty. So he made a bold move. He pulled out his gun and shot Pedro. Right there, dead. The officers froze. Bradley raised his hands and shouted, I was helping you. He was going to kill me. Roman surrendered. The police arrested him. But then, they turned to Bradley. They cuffed him and brought him in. At the station, the interrogation began. Why were you there? The detective asked. I was just walking near the water, Bradley lied. I saw the commotion. I wasn't with them. But the investigator didn't believe a word. He could tell. Bradley was too smart, too calculated. The entire thing was a setup. But without proof, the case was shaky. Still, the court convicted him of premeditated murder. 7 years. Bradley was processed into prison. stripped, searched. But something didn't feel right. What they discovered in the medical exam would change everything. Don't scroll. What comes next will flip the entire story upside down. Subscribe to see the final twist unfold. Bradley had only been in prison for a short while when a massive guard escorted him to his new cell. There, he meets a strict warden named Andre who explains the rules. The most important one? When the bell rings, every prisoner leaves their cell for roll call. No exceptions. That night the bell sounds, inmates flood the hallway for head count, but Bradley stays inside. Still adjusting to prison life, he misses the call. Minutes later, he steps out. Too late. Andre punishes him on the spot. No yelling, no backtalk. Bradley just accepts it, quietly. But while Bradley faces consequences inside, something far worse is happening outside. Back home, his wife sleeps peacefully, until she hears a sound. Footsteps. She moves to lock the door, but gets electrocuted. She collapses. A shadowy figure appears and kidnaps her. Next morning, Bradley is summoned to the clerk's office, but instead of paperwork, he's handed a phone. It's his wife's doctor. Only this isn't just a doctor, he works for Eliezer. And now, the threat is personal. You cost Eliezer $3 million, the doctor says. You killed Pedro. Then he shows Bradley a photo, his wife in the hands of the gang. If you don't do what we say, the doctor warns, we'll kill your baby. We'll abort the child. The condition? Kill a prisoner named Chris. Cell number 99, no mercy. Bradley agrees, but only if they swear not to hurt his family. Back in the yard, he makes his move. He attacks Andre and other guards, hard enough to trigger chaos. Just as planned, Bradley is transferred to the prison where Chris is being held, or so he thinks. His new cell is filthy, reeking, miserable. He rips off his shirt and covers his mouth, on the stench. Soon an officer drags him to the courtyard where prisoners rest. There, Bradley meets a man named Dirk. Bradley asks about Chris, cell 99, but Dirk doesn't know anyone by that name. So Bradley takes matters into his own hands. He joins a group of inmates working out and starts asking questions. They don't like questions, they think he's weak. Big mistake. They attack. Bradley snaps. He fights back, hard. Bodies drop. Guards fire warning shots. Bradley ignores them. He even punches a guard. That's the last straw. They throw him in the punishment cell, underground. Before locking him up, they strap him into an electroshock suit. Inside the cell, Bradley finds shards of glass scattered everywhere. He's in hell. Meanwhile, we see his wife, bound, terrified. The doctor appears again, with his friend, an abortion specialist from Korea. They're not bluffing. Back in prison, Bradley screams out,
Chris! Chris! Where are you?
A guard walks in. There's no Chris here. Bradley freezes. There is no Chris? Then who was he sent to kill? And suddenly, everything clicks. It was never about Chris. A group of guards grabs Bradley and drags him into a hidden basement. There, waiting in the shadows, is Eliezer. Bradley realizes he's been tricked. The mission wasn't about murder. It was a setup to bring him face to face with Eliezer. You cost me $3 million, Eliezer growls. You killed Pedro. And now, Eliezer stares Bradley in the eye and smiles coldly. You took everything from me, he says. Now, I'll take everything from you. Bradley doesn't even get the chance to respond. Eliezer's men move in fast, pummeling him. Brutal. He's outnumbered, outpowered, and completely helpless. The beating is savage. And just before Bradley loses consciousness, Eliezer leans in and shows him a photo of his wife. She's as weak as you are. Then he walks away. Moments later, guards arrive and drag Bradley back to his cell. He lies in silence, bleeding but awake, and something inside him snaps. He now knows the truth. The guards, the system, the prison, they're all working for Eliezer. Enough is enough. Bradley rises, and this time, he fights back. With raw fury, he ambushes the guards outside his cell. One by one, he takes them down. No hesitation, no fear. He storms back into Eliezer's lair. Eliezer turns, shocked. Too late. Bradley charges. He takes down Eliezer's guards with brutal efficiency, breaking them like twigs. They fall, hard. Now it's just the two of them. Bradley grabs Eliezer by the throat, lifts him, and slams him against the wall. Call the doctor, he growls. Let my wife go. Eliezer refuses. Wrong answer. Bradley beats him, mercilessly, until Eliezer, broken and shaking, reaches for the phone. He calls. Far away, the doctor and his Korean accomplice are holding Bradley's wife hostage, until Jill shows up. Jill, the friend who once gave Bradley a chance, now gives him something more. Justice. Without hesitation, Jill pulls his weapon. He shoots the doctor, shoots the Korean, and rescues Bradley's wife. Then he calls Bradley, and for a brief, fragile moment, Bradley hears her voice. She's safe. She's crying. He tells her he loves her, tells her he won't be there to see their child, tells her goodbye. She breaks down, realizing everything he endured, everything he sacrificed was for her. And then he hangs up. Bradley turns to Eliza, lying broken in front of him, and finishes it. He beats him until he stops breathing, until the monster who destroyed his life is gone forever. But heroes like Bradley don't get happy endings. The prison guards burst into the room alongside the prison director. A gunshot echoes through the halls. Bradley falls. And just like that, the man who gave everything for love loses everything. But in the end, his wife is safe. His child will live. And Bradley, he dies not as a criminal, but as a warrior.